You brought up Caitlyn Clark's senior day. Can we talk about the scene? And Robbie, speak to this as well. Can we talk about the scene at Carver Hawkeye Arena yesterday? Just the entire day. The fact that Maya Moore showed up, Travis Scott was there. That was the friendship that we never knew existed. She said Caitlyn Clark is one of my favorite humans. Lynette Woodard, the Hawkeyes brought in the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball before, of course, Caitlyn Clark broke every record. Let's just talk about that day. As a fan of basketball, to have all that going on and then the Hawkeyes still to perform like they did. What did you see at Carver Hawkeye yesterday? What'd you think?
Caitlyn Clark has dealt with so many outside distractions this whole entire season. I mean, it starts with the State Farm commercial that hit airwaves beginning of the year, the Gatorade deal, the Nike deal, all the things she has had to deal with so much, and yet she still finds the ability to focus and get the job done on the floor. She's a true pro in the sense of being able to compartmentalize and put what's important first. And she has been the most consistent player in college basketball. But the scene, I mean, it was so cool. First off, to her reaction to seeing Maya Moore, she's been talking about her favorite player forever. She screamed, and it was so cool and such a human moment. I think a lot of people look at Caitlyn Clark kind of as a non-human and just as this prolific figure. To see her have that reaction to Maya Moore, I thought was really cool. And few people appreciate women's basketball the way Caitlyn Clark does, and she understands the history of it. And so she appreciates the Lynette Woodards of the world and the Maya Moores and all of that comes with it. So cool that people are taking such notice of women's basketball right now. It's grown a ton, and a lot of that is thanks to Caitlyn Clark, but also across the league. This is a really good product you're seeing right now.
The all-time leading scorer in college basketball, period. We're not talking male or female anymore. We can continue to add on to all the accomplishments. I thought the Nike ad was so poignant. It was okay, just everything. There's not enough pages to list all that Caitlyn Clark has done and will continue to do. She's announced that she's going to the WNBA. Robbie, your initial thoughts on that decision?
Well, I kind of feel like she's probably accomplished everything she can at the collegiate level. And, there's something to be said about coming back for a fifth year and just making these numbers untouchable. They probably already are. And I think there's something cool about the fact that you do this record in only 4 years. You do it in the normal time span. And we've talked about how, the 1,000-point scorers, that was always the benchmark for how good you were as a college player. Well, that's kind of been skewed because you have a lot of people that played 5 seasons now. And a lot of the records that we have been skewed. So I think that maybe comes into it. Unfortunately, we had some people in the media have some stupid takes about her taking a pay cut, man. So her national endorsements are going to go away. She's not going to have State Farm. She's not going to have Gatorade. She's not going to have Nike. That's not going anywhere. It's a terrible take. And I think that she's just ready as a competitor to take herself to the highest level and prove herself there. She's proven everything she can at this stage in her career. She's taken an Iowa team that had good players, but not UConn level talent or Stanford back when we were playing level talent or Notre Dame level talent from when we were in college. They're a good team, but she's elevated them to the national championship game. Hopefully she can make a run here and in her, you could call it last dance, but bigger and better things await her. And I think that's probably the way she's looking at it.
I think we're all on the same side here with this discussion. Megan, you go ahead and answer the WNBA. I already know how you feel about it. I think we feel the same way. And then if you can, as someone who has covered Caitlyn Clark from the very beginning, few people have. A lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon when they started to hear the name, but you've been in the trenches. So I just want to hear your take on her career so far. But first, the WNBA thoughts.
It was the right decision for her to go to the WNBA. She's to what Robbie's point, she's achieved all she can at the college level. She got to a national title game. They probably don't have all the pieces right now. Tough injury with Molly Davis on senior day. We don't know what her status is going to be. It did not look good. And especially you take her out of the picture, then I think it's really hard for this team to get back to the national championship. But she's set every single record in 4 years. Will be no asterisk next to her name regarding, 5 or 6 years or whatever now people are doing. And I think also a part of her is probably just ready to go on to the next thing. As cool as it's been to sell out all these arenas, I would imagine there's a very big burden put on you when you constantly have to show up and entertain thousands and thousands and thousands of people at the college level. Like for her to have 2 security guards with her at all times, for her to really not be able to go anywhere without being recognized. I mean, this is pro level stuff that we see a lot in the professional level, but she's dealing with it at college. So I think it's time for her to kind of move on, go to the next level, and be challenged at a higher level. It's going to be really good for her. I'm excited to see what she does in the W. Fever tickets, I believe, like are already sold out, something like that, because they have the first pick in the draft. So that's going to be interesting. And just really cool to see the excitement hopefully carry over from the college level to the WNBA, which is a fantastic product as well. And as for the scoring record, I did giggle because we talked about this before she broke the women's record in the NCAA. We were like, we hope she doesn't do it on a free throw. And she broke the record on a flagrant foul free throw. So a little anticlimactic, but nonetheless, incredible feat. I don't care if Pistol Pete did it in 3 years with no 3-point line. Like, come on.
Also, he shot 39 times a game.
I mean,
that has to be taken into account.
Like 3,600 points is 3,600 points. Like, come on. I don't care if you're in the rec league at the YMCA or in the NCAA. It's still an incredible accomplishment.
Nobody's come close for a reason, right? And I love what Lynette Woodard said. She's like, Caitlyn Clark is not done yet. Like, she's going to make that record unobtainable for quite some time. Although I think a young woman in Southern California named Juju Watkins probably has something to say about that, but can't wait to see how her career unfolds.